Wells Fargo. Our support of Aggie students goes beyond just banking. By supporting NEWS22, we're giving back to the community. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.
Tonight on NEWS22.
A school in Gallup holds a vigil for a staff member who was killed in the Las Vegas shooting.
Activists in Albuquerque are helping dreamers meet renewal deadlines.
And Las Cruces have come together to form their own community radio station.
All that and more on NEWS22 Tuesday.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV NEWS22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Selena Madrid.
And I'm Michael Navarrete. Hearts are heavy across the nation following the Las Vegas shooting, and hospitals are in desperate need of blood.
The United Blood Service here in Las Cruces has already supplied 200 units of blood to Las Vegas hospitals, but the demand could increase. Jackie Loetta has the story.
The Las Cruces United Blood Services Clinic is busier than ever after the deadliest shooting in America.
It's just scary knowing it could have just happened to anybody, and I hope that by donating blood it can help somebody who needs it.
In a time like this, people do not mind waiting for longer than an hour to get their blood drawn. Even people with the fear of needles are stepping up to do their part.
I don't know, it's hard to even know how to express anything that you're feeling about it. It's so terrible and tragic the way that things happened, and I think it's important that communities come together in times of need. So
people also think it shouldn't stop the world from living.
You know, it's horrific, and I'd like to go to concerts and outdoor events, and it's scary, but you can't let things like that keep you from enjoying your life either. But it was horrible. It was horrific.
But they say it's the time for everyone to step up and do their part. Jackie Loetta, NEWS22.
The national tragedy struck home for friends and family of a high school secretary in Gallup, New Mexico. It was announced Monday that 48-year-old Lisa Romero was a victim in Sunday's mass shooting. Romero was a disciplinary secretary at Miyamura High School and was beloved by so many. A candlelight vigil was held Monday night where hundreds gathered to show support for Romero and the community.
I think it's just really tragic on what happened in Las Vegas. I don't think anybody going to a concert should be, even that.
As we've seen, the mass murder in Las Vegas has touched the lives of people all over the country. While most NMSU students didn't know the victims personally, it still struck close to home.
I think it's just really tragic on what happened in Las Vegas. I don't think anybody going to a concert should be, even that shouldn't even be a thought in America these days.
I was heartbroken, and I was even more heartbroken by the people's response, I think, because they try to make it into a political issue when it should be something just mourning the loss of people and not turned into whether we need more gun control or something, because criminals don't follow laws.
It's just important to remember that there is good in the world. It's just hard to recognize that when stuff like that does happen.
Outside events around the country are now beefing up security. The International Balloon Fiesta will be held in Albuquerque this upcoming weekend. Albuquerque Police Chief Gordon Eden won't say exactly what the added precautions are, but more than 20 local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies will be in place. And Texas officials are reviewing security plans for the upcoming Austin City Limits Music Festival. The 6-day festival anticipates about 450,000 people during the 2 weekends. The police chief is concerned about copycats, but is confident with the number of officers it will be the safest place in Austin.
It was a great day here in Las Cruces.
It was. It's looking nice outside. Jess is here with our first look at weather.
Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Let's go ahead and start by taking a look at this funnel cloud that was actually in Albuquerque. Actually, let's go ahead and talk about our current conditions. Right now, we're seeing sunny skies at 83 degrees. Rewind a little bit, guys. Sorry about that. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but here's that funnel cloud I was talking about. You may think, is that a tornado? No. That's a dust devil. Look how big that thing is. That is massive. And guess where that was? That was right there in Albuquerque, New Mexico, guys. That is amazing and beautiful and weird all at once. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at our current conditions now here in Las Cruces. All right, guys, right now we're seeing sunny skies at 83 degrees, winds coming from the south at 7 miles per hour, humidity at a low 22%, our dew point at 41, and our barometer at 29.86 inches. Today we saw a high of 89, which is well above our average of 83, so clearly those summer temperatures are not going anywhere. A low of 66 last night. In 2000, we saw a record high of 95, and in 1963, we saw a record low of 41. We didn't see any rainfall today, so our yearly rainfall sits at 8.57 inches. Later, I'll be back to tell you what part of our nation is seeing some rainfall as well. But for now, back to Mike and Selena at the desk.
Thanks, Jess. In less than a month, North America has experienced several natural disasters that have devastated communities in Texas, Florida, the Caribbean, and Mexico. Many Las Cruces organizations are collecting money and various items to send to those in need. The Las Cruces Sun News reports two of the latest groups helping out are the Office of Dr. Robert Mullen and Bootacular. You can donate at Dr. Mullen's office at 1400 El Paseo Road, and on October 14th, the Bootacular at Young Park will also be collecting. The Bootacular is from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. on Saturday, October 14th.
A 16-year-old boy is under arrest today. Police say he made threats on social media about shooting up Clovis High School. The suspect was charged with assault with intent to commit a felony and interference with the educational process. The suspect's identity has yet to be released. It was just this August that a boy from the same school shot up the county library in Clovis and killed 2 people. A Las Cruces man suspected of sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl is now in jail. 42-year-old Vidal Galvan Jr. was located Monday evening and arrested by Las Cruces police officers. Police say Galvan and the 12-year-old girl know each other. They say he sexually assaulted her between July 12th through the 14th of 2017. Police also discovered Galvan had ignored 46 warrants to appear in court.
Las Cruces police need your help in finding a woman accused of forging and ripping off an elderly woman. Police say 41-year-old Candace Gonzalez forged and cashed checks worth about $2,000 from the account of an 80-year-old widow. Police are trying to find out if she has any more victims. Crime Stoppers is offering a cash reward of up to $1,000 for information that leads to Gonzalez's arrest. And dreamers across the U.S. are facing a deadline this Thursday to renew their status.
And some activists in Albuquerque, New Mexico are trying to help them finish the paperwork on time. Kate DeManchi filed this report on Saturday.
The deadline to renew Deferred Action of Childhood Arrivals permits, known as DACA, is October 5th. The program protects undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children from deportation. Now an immigrants' rights organization is stepping up to help.
We'll be holding a 12-hour DACA-thon, which is a 12-hour DACA renewal clinic.
This comes after President Trump's decision to end the program, triggering protests nationally and right here in Albuquerque. But some DACA recipients who currently have a permit that will expire between September 5th, 2017 to March 5th, 2018 now have a chance to renew it.
Putting more challenges to make sure that people are able to apply, it just deters them from even applying. And that's why, again, we're pushing really hard.
The event will be held tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. here at 714 4th Street Southwest. The group will be giving out 150 scholarships to help people pay for the renewal fee, and they'll provide legal advice.
And so we know that most people can get $500 right out of their pocket right away within 4 weeks. And so this has been a national effort to make sure that the people who can renew get every opportunity they can.
And y'all stay tuned. Jess will be back with your national forecast.
And later, Las Cruces residents have banded together to create their own community radio station. Keep it here. More on that when News 22 continues.
Las Cruces and El Paso share a lot of history. See why we say Texas history begins in El Paso on our El Paso Gold Heritage documentary series, broadcast Sunday nights on KRWG-TV. See Legends of El Paso's Mountains, Gunfights of the Old West, El Paso's Waco Tanks, Mexican Revolution sites in El Paso, and many more El Paso TV documentaries on KRWG TV.
Saturday at 12 noon on KRWG TV.
The KRWG TV public file is available to the public at 2915 McPhee Circle, Milton Hall, Room 117, on the campus of New Mexico State University. Regular business hours are from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. Files are also available online at stations.fcc.gov.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Tuesday,
where news matters.
New Mexico has the 4th highest rate of veteran suicide in the country. There are many factors that cause veterans to kill themselves. The lack of resources offered, low income in the state, and the accessibility to bear arms in New Mexico contribute to the cause. The signs are sometimes not visible, which is why it's important for the family and close friends to be aware.
Like any type of prevention, understanding, looking for the signs of suicide and getting them help sometimes is the key, where in many cases they may not want to seek help themselves.
The Veterans Crisis Hotline is available to all veterans, even if they are not under the Veterans Affair. The number to call is 1-800-273-8255. Pressing the option 1. It is available 24 hours.
The election of a new mayor for the city of Albuquerque is underway today. Voters have a selection of 7 candidates on the ballot. Polls show Democrat and State Auditor Tim Keller is in the lead. The nonpartisan race is dominated by issues of crime rate and pressures to better the Albuquerque Police Department. If no candidate receives 50% of the votes, then the top 2 will face off in a November runoff. The election marks the first time in 20 years without an incumbent on the ballot. New Mexico State Land Commissioner Aubrey Dunn is out for the GOP nomination for New Mexico. Spokeswoman for the State and Land Office, Kristen Haas, says Dunn has canceled his campaign without giving a reason. Dunn had been a leading contender to succeed U.S. Representative Steve Pierce. Dunn was elected in 2014 to run an agency to help fund schools, universities, and hospitals. It is clear at this point if Dunn will try for re-election as Land Commissioner next year.
The state of New Mexico is known for breathtaking landscapes and even more breathtaking green chili.
But not to be forgotten is the rich musical history of the state. News 22's Mike V. Hill shows us what makes the music so special.
The music of New Mexico has been a sort of soundtrack for Rob Martinez his whole life. He's the deputy state historian, and he visited NMSU last week to enlighten students on the rich musical cultures of the state.
It's sad, it's tragic, it's lively and fun.
The music dates back to the 17 and 1800s and tells stories of people that were here long before us. From that of Native Americans,
you have Pueblo, Comanche, Apache, Navajo, Genízaro peoples here,
to cultures south of the border.
I'm actually from California, so just learning about the Mexican influence on music in New Mexico, I thought it'd be a great experience.
Martinez grew up playing music in his father's mariachi group, Los Reyes de Albuquerque. Therefore,
he can not only kind of speak to the history and the development and the influences of different music types, but he can perform the songs as well.
We have unique musical forms like inditas, which just means little Indian girl. And those songs are story songs that tell our history.
He performed corridos and inditas, sprinkling in a little history throughout.
It's a really wonderful way to really learn about the music.
His performance offering a way for students to see and hear the history for themselves.
The performance was wow. I love music, of course, but I don't know a lot of the history about it, so learning about it was just a new experience for me.
Robert spoke of how the songs tell stories of love, despair, and show a love of God. He also talked about how these stories shaped New Mexico's music scene of today.
Very much a living tradition that I think is vital, and especially today we need to promote how diverse our state is.
Mike Vigil, NEWS22.
¿Qué tal might just mean how's it going to you, but for a new radio station in Las Cruces, it means much more. KTAL LP 101.5 FM is the newest radio station on the block and is officially open for business. It's what they call a low-power radio station that broadcasts only to a small area. This past weekend, they celebrated their accomplishments of getting the station started and what they are looking forward to most. It's manned entirely by volunteers who have a passion for radio.
I kind of hear how radio's not as popular as it used to be, but it was always a big deal for me. So it was the chance to work at a station was just kind of something that I dreamed of in high school and didn't really think about afterwards. But it was just a lot of fun, something I really enjoyed doing.
Well, it's a community radio station, so everything is concentrated on Las Cruces. So you hear a lot of Las Cruces voices. And it's a lot, it's very individualized for the people that are here and for this community. So you're going to hear local politicians and about local events and local arts and a lot of local music as well. So that's what makes it different from any other radio station.
Each show on the station has its own unique twist, and you don't have to have any radio experience to volunteer. They plan to eventually be on the air for 20 hours a day. They celebrated this victory with a ribbon ceremony on Sunday. For more information on KTAL, log on to their website at lccommunityradio.org.
I know we've had some rain in the forecast lately. I wonder what it's looking like elsewhere.
Make sure to keep those umbrellas handy. Jess is here with our national forecast.
Y'all are definitely right. Those umbrellas are going to come in handy for this potential tropical storm that we could be seeing in the Gulf Coast. Okay, let's go to our next map. Let's talk about this a little bit closer. So these folks in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana could be seeing all this rain that is making its way from this, again, potential tropical storm, making its way up. And again, if it's a tropical storm, you're going to be seeing some flash flooding, some heavy rain, and some coastal flooding as well. On my next map, let's go ahead and see how this rain is going to keep traveling upward in the entire East Coast as far up as Montreal up here. So this rain, whether it's a tropical storm or not, is going to be seen here in the next week, again as early as Friday, but within the next 10 days. I'll be back after the break to talk about our New Mexico temperatures. You're watching NEWS22.
The Doña Ana Arts Council, presenting the Renaissance Arts Fair, magicians, jousters, arts and crafts, food and games, Saturday and Sunday, November 4th and 5th at Young Park in Las Cruces. The Renaissance Arts Fair is New Mexico true.
As tensions with North Korea mount,
The half-brother of North Korea's leader was assassinated using toxic nerve agents.
Frontline investigates who killed Kim Jong-un's half-brother and the dictator's deadly rule.
I think Kim Jong-un wanted to make a point to any would-be rivals, I can kill you in any manner.
Wednesday at 9 p.m. on KRWG TV.
Just gonna say hello to everybody.
It's a happy day in Botswana when a baby elephant named Naledi is born in captivity. But when her mother suddenly dies, the story changes.
This little girl has been through such a tragic experience.
Now her survival depends on the kindness of strangers.
If she doesn't build a relationship with us, we'll lose her. What they need is love.
Wednesday at 7 p.m. on KRWG TV.
All right, guys, welcome back. Let's go ahead and take a look at our conditions around New Mexico right now. Farmington, 72, Socorro, 78, Roswell, 80, Las Cruces, we're at 83 right now, and Deming at 81. For tomorrow, folks in Gallup can expect 79 degrees, Albuquerque, 76, Socorro, 80, Ruidoso, 70, and Deming at 85. Let's go ahead and take a look at our sister cities. Alamogordo, a chance of rain tonight and a high of 83 tomorrow. Truth or Consequences, chance of rain both tonight and tomorrow with a high of 83 tomorrow, low of 63 tonight. Silver City, rain chance tonight, 57, a high of 78 tomorrow with some cloudy skies. Alamogordo, folks in Las Cruces, y'all are going to be seeing some cloudy skies tonight, low of 66, cloudy skies tomorrow, high of 85 tomorrow. I'll be back later to take a look at your 5-day forecast, but for now, back to the desk.
According to a new study, being happy isn't just good advice for your state of mind, but also for your physical health as well.
In today's Health Minute, Kim Hutcherson explains how a good mood may increase the effectiveness of your flu shot.
A good mood can make you more fun to be around, and it can improve your health in a variety of ways, big and small. The Mayo Clinic says optimism not only helps you manage stress, it plays a role in cardiovascular health and even makes you more resistant to the common cold. According to a small study out of the UK, a positive attitude may also boost the effectiveness of your flu shot. Researchers with the University of Nottingham examined data from 138 people between the ages of 65 and 85. They all got a dose of the 2014-2015 influenza vaccine. Scientists took note of several health indicators like mood, stress levels, negative thoughts, sleep patterns, and diet. They also looked at antibody responses at 4 and 16 weeks after the jab. Researchers found that participants who reported a more positive mood also had higher levels of antibodies in their blood. The study's senior author said there are a variety of factors that can affect how well a vaccine works, but believes the study suggests that mood is one of those factors. The study was published in the journal Brain, Behavior, and Immunity. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Plenty of Aggie sports going on this weekend, and I know we have baseball going on as we speak.
That is right. Hold on to your socks because Nolan Fox is up next with some sports.
Yep, thanks guys. Coming up in sports, the Aggie football team had another big game over the weekend. I'll tell you all about it when we come back for NEWS22 Sports.
Knights, their shining armor, a revolution in metal making.
New technology was necessary to win wars.
But the battlefield was changing.
Knights were some of the first to take up firearms.
Now, Nova puts a team to the ultimate test.
You guys ready?
There aren't many easy answers.
It might not work out.
Oh, wow. To expose secrets of the Shining Knight on Nova.
Wednesday at 8 p.m. on KRWG TV.
With you beside me, whatever life sends,
we can face it.
live for the moment.
Do you not marry for love?
Involvement with folly always comes at a price.
Russ pulled up. Do you think he'll ever grow up?
I don't know, George. Will you?
A new chapter begins.
Poldark on Masterpiece. Thursday at 8 p.m. on KRWG TV.
This is KRWG TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back and hold on to your socks because I'm Nolan Fox with NEWS22 Sports. The Aggie football team is now 2-3 on the season after a tough loss to Arkansas on Saturday. The Razorbacks beat the Aggies 42-24 and were able to put up nearly 500 yards of total offense. Aggies quarterback Tyler Rogers continued to play well as he threw for 344 yards with 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown run. As always, head coach Doug Martin is looking forward to next week's game when they'll head off to North Carolina to play the Appalachian State.
Challenge this week. It's going to be a really difficult game. Obviously, we're playing the team that's predicted to win the Sun Belt Conference and won it last year. We're a really well-coached football team. One of the major concerns for us is just the trip in general. You know, this is a 3.5-hour, 4-hour flight.
Staying in college football, UTEP's search for a new football coach is over after Sean Kugler stepped down this weekend. Today, UTEP announced that Mike Price will take over as the interim coach for the rest of the season. Price is back for his second stint with the Miners. He coached them from 2004 to 2012. And Centennial is now talking about high school football now. Centennial is now 2-4 on the season after they put up a win against Carlsbad by a score of 41-20. Centennial started off strong. Lance Frost hits his man for a touchdown. Hawks lead 7-0. Later, Josiah Leon scores a touchdown as Centennial increases their lead, and Carlsbad would strike back later with a quarterback keeper by Jakin Willis. Then Frost is going to keep it for the score, and that would pretty much do it. Head coach Aaron Ocampo was thrilled with his team's performance, but is still looking for ways to improve.
The key is we got to keep improving. And we
got to keep pushing. And these guys need to write their story for Centennial Hawk football. You know, a lot of people have looked down on us because we had that 1-4 start.
Oh, it's a brotherhood. It's love. I mean, we've gone through tough times together, and this feels great. This is Centennial Hawk football, and it just feels good to finally get back to winning.
Centennial isn't the only high school team that played this weekend. Oñate is also now 2-4 on the season after they beat their crosstown rival Mayfield on Saturday by a score of 28-21. At halftime, the Knights were leading by 1 touchdown, and after a scoreless third quarter, Oñate added 2 more touchdowns in the fourth to bring home the win. Head coach Scott Veliz was proud of his players after the game.
It feels fantastic, you know, especially we started the season 0-4. We played some very tough teams, and these kids kept fighting and getting better. And now we're on a 2-game win streak and 2-0 in district. And it meant so much because Mayfield's a tough team. Historically, they're always very good. You know, tough kids, good coaching staff, a lot of pride and tradition. So it was a big win for us today, huge win.
That's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Jess will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast. But first, you can say that this skunk is really loving it. Find out what kind of cold treats this guy was getting into when News 22 returns.
Feel the beat of today's Cuba with Raul Malo of the Mavericks as he explores his own musical roots. For a fantastic concert in Cuba, look for the Havana Time Machine. A Great Performances Voces special.
Friday at 8 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
PBS presents the 30th Hispanic Heritage Awards, featuring appearances by Gael García Bernal, Rudy Becerra, Alba Colón, Luis Fonsi, and many more at the 30th Hispanic Heritage Awards.
Friday at 9 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
A Maine police officer made a new friend when he found a skunk, except this skunk was stuck inside a fast food cup, and the officer risked getting sprayed to help the little guy. The little guy was discovered with his head stuck in a McFlurry cup. Once freed, the skunk appeared ready to spray, but then reconsidered and took off. Video of the good deed went viral immediately, racking up thousands of views.
That's all we have for News 22 Tuesday today. Thanks. Y'all have a good night. Come back for tomorrow's News 22 Wednesday. I'm Michael Navarrete.
I'm Selena Madrid, and have a good night.
This news brief en español is brought to you by Noticias22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias22.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Les saluda Melissa Barraza en este breve informativo de Noticias 22. Una secretaria de la escuela secundaria en Gallup, Nuevo México, murió en el tiroteo que pasó el domingo en Las Vegas, que causó al menos 59 muertes y más de 500 personas resultaron heridas. Lisa Romero trabajó en Miyamura High School por más de 10 años. Una vigilia se llevó a cabo en su honor el lunes por la noche, donde los estudiantes la recordaron por ser buena mentora. A Romero le sobreviven su marido, 3 hijos, 4 nietos y varios ahijados. La policía de Las Cruces busca a una mujer sospechosa de falsificar y cobrar varios cheques. Candice F. González, de 41 años, tiene 3 cargos por falsificación y una orden de arresto. 2 de los cheques que falsificó fue por retirar dinero de la cuenta de una viuda de 80 años y otro de una pareja casada. González es una hispana que mide 5 pies y 2 pulgadas de altura. Ella pesa aproximadamente 100 libras. Es probable que maneje un carro Mustang blanco de 2 puertas. El programa Alto al Crimen ofrece una recompensa de hasta $1,000 por información que ayude con el arresto de González y puede llamar al número que aparece en pantalla. El hombre que era buscado por la policía de Las Cruces es arrestado. Vidal Galván de Jr., de 42 años, es sospechoso de abusar sexualmente de una niña de 12 años. Al momento de su arresto, Galván tenía 46 órdenes de detención pendientes en la Corte Municipal y Magistral. Galván ya cuenta con 2 cargos por contacto sexual criminal a un menor y un cargo de intento de penetración sexual a un menor. Para Noticias 22, yo soy Melissa Barraza.
Local support for a portion of today's programming is provided by Wells Fargo. Our support of Aggies